Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio's third Tuesday Go to Natchitoches show. We love Natchitoches. Natchitoches is the oldest city in the state of Louisiana. It was founded in 1714, and so it is actually the original French colony of the state. So not only just the oldest city, but the original French colony. It's also part of no man's land, which is a whole cool story behind that. And it is home, well, it's part of the Cane River Creole National Historical Park. I'll get that right, Arlene. Cane River National Heritage Area, and it is home to the NSU campus, and that is where the Natchitoches-NSU Folk Festival happens every year. Nancy and I were lucky to go to the 40th annual festival in 2019, and obviously we had COVID in between times, so that kind of sucked because the festival wasn't able to do it, but they did do a lot of digital and online shows and performances. But it is back this year. We're very, very excited. The 42nd Natchitoches-NSU Folk Festival is back in Natchitoches on July 23rd. So you're going to go to this website. It's nsula.edu/folk life. You can also find it on Facebook. And if you go to Natchitoches, you should go to this website, natchitoches.com. And to spell that, it is NATCHITOCHES.com. So if we're going to have a Natchitoches show, we always have Arlene Gould or Kelly on the show from the Natchitoches Convention and Visitors Bureau. And Arlene is back. How are you, madam? I know you just came back from Kansas.
I did.
Right?
I just came back from a Jefferson Highway conference. So we're doing good. We had a really good time, and I had the opportunity to promote Natchitoches along the Jefferson Highway Trail that goes from Winnipeg, Canada, all the way down to New Orleans, all the way through the Louisiana Purchase Territory. So Natchitoches, we're everywhere, man. We're everywhere.
It's those meat pies and that music. I'm telling you, it goes everywhere. Yeah. I love that you did that in the Jefferson Highway. What, 1915 is when it started?
1915 is when it was established. Yep.
So right after the Lincoln Highway. So this is one of the oldest highways in our country. The first one going up, down, and all around.
Intercontinental between two countries, Canada and America. Yep, that's correct.
Awesome. Most
of them went east-west, but this one came from the north to the south.
Well, we're covering that for sure. So we have our third Tuesday with Natchitoches, and then it's our third Thursday, is it? Oh my gosh.
I think it's the third Thursday for
wow.
Jefferson Highway.
That's right.
I get confused.
Right. Yeah, we just keep airing shows and having a good time. What are you talking about? And speaking of good time, Dr. Shane Rasmussen is back on the show. Shane, welcome back. And you've got to be so excited to have the festival back.
It was a lonely 2 years. One of them was literally online, but it's still there, and it was actually kind of a cool opportunity because it's like a time capsule of a lot of the folk life that was in Louisiana. And so it's there, for posterity, but those folks that are playing, they're still playing. So, yeah. If you go to the Natchitoches-NSU Folk Festival YouTube channel, you can see all those for free.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, people get an idea.
Right. And, they have a music set and then an interview portion with each of them. It's really neat. So, that it worked out really well ultimately. And then last year we did a concert series that brought some folks because we will do small events. But this year, we're able to proceed finally with the big event, the Natchitoches-NSU Folk Festival. And, the reason we had to wait, one of the main reasons is that we're not outdoors.
Right.
We're indoors, but because, we're in July and, Louisiana, I go outside of my office, and it's kind of like a sauna. It's like, whoa, this is intense.
It's swampy.
Right. But
we're
outside and we are air conditioned. So, and no mosquitoes. It's just a wonderful family-friendly environment. And it's just a neat festival. Children 12 and under are free because I remember I have 5 children. So I remember what it was like
Yeah.
trying to go to something with young children, and you're thinking, well, I don't care if it's $5. If I have to pay for all these guys, these little rugrats, pretty soon that's a lot of money for someone that's
Because
just
of
getting
food.
there.
Yeah.
Right. And so we decided, it's, I mean, I understand why other folks do it, but it's hard when it's a 2-year-old that you're paying that $5 for or something like that. And you're going, wow, I mean, they're not going to even know what's going on very much. They're not going to appreciate the music as much as the adults.
But when they grow up, they'll be tapping those toes,
That's true. We're
You
raising
got to
them on
get that in them. Yeah. Because you
So-
got to keep that culture going.
we wanted to make it possible for young families to attend. So we made
That's
it
awesome.
12 and under are free. And the really cool thing about the festival is that it's a partnership. NSU wanted to do outreach and wants to help the tradition of Louisiana stay alive, because tradition is what binds us together, and it's so important. And so the Louisiana Folklife Center, which started, and the Folklife Festival soon after. But really, it's the Natchitoches-NSU Folk Festival, because we highlight so much of the local culture, and not only in Natchitoches, but in Natchitoches Parish. And we bring people to the area, and when they come to the festival, they discover so much else that's here. If they go downtown and they see Front Street and they see that beautiful, the cobblestone street, which just has its own feel to it. If you haven't been on that kind of street, it's really, you deserve to do that.
They're
Go for
rare.
yourself.
They're
Right.
rare. You know what? They're going away. I mean, there's communities even in Texas that I know of that have had to fight for their brick streets. And I
Yeah.
know you've had that fight too in Natchitoches, but you have it's the oldest city in the state. So
Right.
think about this culture and all that music and all those cultural traditions that you have. And yet the downtown has that authenticity of who Natchitoches is, which means who Louisiana is,
Well, yeah, Arlene, isn't it the oldest settlement in the Purchase?
Yes, and all the
Yeah.
Louisiana Purchase territory.
Oh, so that's
right.
even bigger than
Yeah.
the state of
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yep, from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico. It was 1/3 of the United States when the 1803 Louisiana Purchase took place. Louisiana.
Natchitoches was a granny.
I always say Natchitoches is older than dirt. We're older than New Orleans, obviously.
You're older than the brick road and the
Definitely
Front
older
Street.
than the brick road. That's for sure.
Oh, and it's interesting because the history, when you think about the Red River, now you've got the Oxbow Lake, which is like an offshoot of the Red River. So all this history of you were a river town, and you still
Mhm.
are, right? Because
Mhm.
you've got the river still is like on the Grand Ecore side, right? Am I
Natchitoches would
getting
have
that
been a
straight?
port city, just like Shreveport, Louisiana, because it was on the Red River. But when the logjam occurred, it kind of blocked the way to get here.
Yeah.
And when Captain Henry Shreve cleared the logjam, it changed the course of the river. So it was kind of sectioned off. Now all we have is what's left, and it's just navigable for recreational use. It's not for commercial use.
But it's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But listen, it's important to go back to how historic it is, because that's part of what I really loved in Nancy too. And Nancy wishes she was here. She's having a fight with her computer. When you go to the folk festival, you're seeing some actual ancient traditions, very historic. Basket weaving. There was a lady we met, and she was doing basket weaving, and her baskets were gone. I mean, they were gone immediately. And she was talking about her tribe. Her dad was instrumental in getting their language into Congress, like actually documenting this in the Library of Congress. And she was saying that there's only 600 left of her tribe. And I'm going, this is where do you experience this? You know what I mean? And where you're able to have this interaction and conversation. And so that was something I thought we see movies and read books, but when you can actually experience and have that conversation, it really bridges some gaps.
Well, the festival is kind of made for that kind of engagement with people. When I think about the festival, you come in and it's just like Santa's workshop. It's, you know, that hall of crafts. We've invited over 70 crafts people this year. So, you know, we have as many crafts as a lot of the festivals that are just crafts, you know, and of
Right.
course, on top of that, we have the 3 stages of music and the hall of, you know, the room of narrative sessions. We have exhibits and booksellers. So really, it's just a neat event. And those craftspeople are not just, I mean, they're selling their things. You can get some fantastic gifts, you know, and then stow them away in the closet for Christmas. But, you know, also they're showing what they're doing. They're exhibiting and they're demonstrating their craft and how they do that. And they're more than happy to talk with you. You know, the Pasanke egg folks, you know, that make
Oh, yeah.
yeah. They've got that candle going, and they're doing the wax, and they're making those eggs, and as part of the process, just right there as you watch. And of course, you can buy one, and they're reasonably priced, and they're just exquisite. But they're also just more than happy to share their culture with you. So, and that's what we discover with all the folks that come to the festival, that they do it, you know, a lot of them have day jobs, you know, most of them, you know, and so, but what do? They do this because it's important to them. It's what the soul lives by, to quote Zora Neale Hurston. So, you know, the folks that do the Vietnamese lion dancing, and they're going to be here. I know they get a kick out of it. You know, they
Yeah.
love sharing their culture. They love doing it. So
Well, it's carrying the torch of their ancestral lines, you know. And when,
exactly.
if this goes away, then it's gone. You know, the Sankey Nicole, we interviewed her at the festival, which was hard because it's, I mean, that is one loud festival. Everybody's in that like yippee, you know. And but every Easter we've re-aired her interview, and we've got a jigsaw puzzle up on, and everyone go to blendradioandtv.com. And especially right now with the situation with Ukraine, it really ties home. And it was just a special interview, especially this year, to air. And we have some musician friends who are escaped and safe over in this country right now, so we're able to play their music with her interview, and it just made everybody feel good, you know. So it you know, I think she was actually more on the Czech side of things, but Ukraine and Czech Republic share that history of this Sankey eggs, and but it's like so intricate. And yet I think the way they all interpret their craft, not only are you getting this history of culture and diverse cultures like Vietnamese, Czech, Ukraine, you wouldn't think, right, in Natchitoches, Louisiana, but heck yeah. But they're also making it accessible. Like you feel like, well, I want to do that. Like I want to learn how to do it. Not just, oh, that's cool that you and your culture do this. No, I want to do it. I want to make a Sankey egg.
You know, that one of the reasons why we're giving away one of the fiddles again this year.
Ooh.
To you know, we have a fiddle that we're going to give away that was made by a master fiddle maker. And he has passed, but you know, he left us, he bequeathed us some of his fiddles to give away. And so we have the fiddle championship as part of the festival. It's from 1 to 4, and it's in the McGill Recital Hall, and which is just a perfect place to have it. It's one of those places that you can go up to the podium and drop that pin, and you can hear it at the back. So, you know, it doesn't even need amplification when they're playing. And we just have some neat folks that are going to be taking part. I always have to make sure that there's a musician playing as people come into the fiddle championship. And this year we have the Haggis Rampant Celtic Band, which has fiddles and bagpipes. So, you know, it's just a kind of a different tradition, but it's still neat. And you know, and being able to give that fiddle away is such an honor, to help a young person keep up the tradition. And you know, or for example, you know, one of the reasons why you had a hard time being heard is because the Pasanke eggs are next to Kid Fest. And you know, this year we've got, and by the way, if you're going to attend the festival, not only are your kids home dinner free, but you can drop them off at Kid Fest. And we've got some just fantastic, you know, folks that'll take care of them and make sure they have a good time. And the Vietnamese land agents are going to visit them. and
Oh, cool.
they're gonna visit Kid Fest. So and let the kids see the costumes and touch them and things like that. So
And I wanted to mention too, while you're talking about crafts, not to change the subject, but I don't want to forget the group that does the artwork and jewelry pieces made out of garfish scales.
we've invited them. Yes.
Nancy's like, what? I mean, Lisa's like, what? But they have some of the most intricate.
Well, you guys, you paint okra pots. I mean, it's like there's
Well, that's right.
whenever you can eat or do something with, you
out of
do.
okra pods. They do. They have some really fantastic crafts and craftsmen that really, to watch them do their craft is amazing. But the garfish, they're there, with their little, fish scales, and it's really neat. So.
What? No, wait, no. What are they making with fish scales?
I've had earrings and hair pieces, but they make beautiful art pieces as well.
Yep. Yeah, they're wonderful.
Is it an Indian tribe from Houma, Louisiana? Is that where, I think that's what they are, where they come from?
Also the Kasadi, but yeah, there's several that work with the garfish, and just,
Wow.
they worked with what they had, and pretty much like every folk group. And from that came their foodways and their crafts and their music and their dance. So
this is interesting to me about the folk, life, what it really is about, right? That it's so diverse in cultures, because when you think about the great, Louisiana Purchase territory, this does historically encompass all these cultures, right? The Vietnamese included. And so a lot of people will not really expect that. I think when you say Louisiana, they think Cajun, Creole. They don't, we don't get past that as much. But this really shows a Native American, of course, and African American, but we don't think like Vietnamese and Czech, right? So I think that's a really important part of it, because I mean, if you think Louisiana's got waterways, and that brings people historically.
It does. We have, when you talk about diversity, we have the Caddo Culture Club coming down from Oklahoma, and they were here. The Caddo were in this area.
Yeah.
And then they were removed, but so they're coming back to what they consider one of their homelands. And they're going to do traditional songs and dances. We've got, one of the things that is neat is that, we have, we're talking about Goldman Thibodeau.
I love him.
Yeah, and he plays that old Creole Lala, which is before Zydeco became Zydeco. There was Lala music, and he's really the person that's keeping that alive. So he's coming again.
He howls. He
Mr.
literally
Goldman
howls.
is a treasure. I'm telling you. He's awesome.
I was transfixed. I couldn't move. Like I think he played twice, but he has is it his whole family? Because there were kids. I mean, there was a few generations with him. But he just he has this howl.
He must be close to 90 years old.
I think he is, yes. Last time I checked, he was around 86, 87. So that's been a few years ago, though. So
he's been featured in some big music stories and stuff. Because we did a show, an arts, like a 3-4 day music festival right after we attended this, and I have a friend, Johnny Mastro, Mama's Boys from New Orleans, and he was on the show, and I started telling him, dude, we went to the folk festival in Natchitoches. There's nothing like this. And so of course, he's supposed to be talking about his music. And for 40 minutes, I think we just told him about every little thing that happened at this folk festival. And I'm trying to tell him, and I was like, Goldman Thibodeau, and he starts Googling it. Next thing you know, I'm getting emails. It's this man. Oh, look, you got to see this. You got to see this. Here's all these stories of Goldman Thibodeau, and I didn't really get it until we were there, how larger than life this man is. His singing, his power, but it was, to me, it was just, I know Tab Benoit was there, right? He's but Goldman Thibodeau, that just is, I want to go back just to see him,
Well, we kind of have the, one of the kings of Zydeco also coming this year, Gino De La Cruz. with
Yes,
Prince
he's
Dog
awesome.
Boogie. Yeah, Gino is probably the premier Zydeco artist that I know of in Louisiana right now. I
Wow.
think he's the best that we have that plays straight up Zydeco. He really is great. But also we have someone who plays really good country and really good Cajun, which is Amanda Shaw. And they're both very dynamic performers that like to get people dancing. They're the crowd pleasing performers because and they don't have to change their culture to do that, because their
Mm.
culture was all about having that good time. Those Cajun lyrics sometimes are if you translate them and you know what's going on, they're kind of sad and lonesome. She left and that kind of thing.
You can do all
But
all that dancing and not even sweat because you're in the air conditioning.
that's right. That's right. But they sing
See?
those sad lyrics in a happy tone, so and you can dance all day. Our dance lessons this year are going to be by the Cajun French Music Association. And so they are officially coming to do
That's
Zydeco and
cool.
Cajun dance lessons.
Wow.
And of course, like last time, we've got Catrice Lacour doing, and he likes to get people line dancing, which I always try to encourage that. But also we had a loss. Hardrick Rivers passed, and he was slated to perform. I had Hardrick every single year because people
Mhm.
loved him. He was just a local legend. So a lot of his friends, the people that played with him, are doing a musical tribute to Hardrick.
Oh,
Yeah, and that'll be really neat. And there was something else that happened, recently. Ed Huey had a kind of an injury. He was going to do our blues harmonica workshop, but he's gonna make a full recovery, but he's not able to perform right now. So instead, it will be Yvette Landry, who is a music educator and who plays with a bunch of bands around in the Lafayette area, and also one of her friends, Bo Thomas, who was a former he won the state fiddle championship. He's just a couple years back. He's a phenomenal fiddler. She's going to do a Cajun French guitar workshop, and this will be for beginners. We encourage you to bring
wow.
your guitars. And she is an accomplished Cajun guitarist, and she will basically give you the basics of how to do that. So we want to encourage people to show up and just enjoy this. But there's something else happening that's I think on a lot of people haven't seen it, which is recently the National Endowment for the Arts made they made the Winsboro Easter Rock Ensemble NEA Fellows. They recognized them at a national level. It was a huge honor, and these they're primarily ladies. There's a few men that are a part of the group, but it's mostly ladies, and it's the only, as far as we know, it is the last African American Easter Eve vigil in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're going to bring it here to the festival, and they're going to show folks what they do. They're going to do the songs, and then also they're going to talk about with folks, why they do what they do. They're going to explain their tradition. So this festival is just fantastic.
Wow.
But if you're wanting to dance, we have that going on all day, and we are going to close the festival with Flashback. And they are some folks from Shreveport, and they're doing it, I think, because they just love that. They love to play, and they're going to play 50s and 60s traditional dance music. Kind of like the sock hop kind of dance
Oh,
music.
cool.
Yeah, so they're gonna play specifically music that will get you boogieing. So that's gonna be closing out the festival. So save a little energy for those folks.
Now, when did you say you were coming to visit, Lisa?
I know. I'm going to have to bail on somebody. No, I can't ruin those commitments. Honestly, it sounds, the diversity of this is just amazing to me culturally, but then also the types of dance. I remember last year, the 2019, the 40th annual one, here's Goldman Thibodeau going over here, and then here's the Cajun dancing, and then you turn around, and here comes all the Victorian dancers in la-di-da dresses and doing like, what? I was like, I couldn't believe this very historic dance, was happening. And here they're in gowns, and
Yeah.
I was just like, wow. And it makes you think about what Louisiana was like back in the day. When you think about your architecture and,
Mhm.
those Victorian homes and everything, I was like, did they just step out of the past into the hall? What's going on? This Coliseum just got a little older. So
The southern version of Jane Austen almost,
yeah,
Yeah.
that was just like, wow. So I think it's really all this diversity, it lets people see something that they don't see every single day, that you don't see on MTV. If does MTV still go? I don't know, but I think we're all, we're not seeing these kinds of things every single day, and especially in one place, everyone together,
Mhm.
all these different ways of, celebrating the arts and
Yeah.
culture.
So Lisa, I want your listeners, if they're listening and they want to come to visit, they need to go to our website, natchitoches.com, and check out our accommodations so they can get their hotel reservations in early. We've been very busy here in Natchitoches with a lot of visitors, but they definitely want to make their accommodations and make plans to join us on July 23rd. But we have bed and breakfast, we have hotels, we've got RV. If you're coming down in your RV camper, we got campgrounds. And we invite everybody to join us for the 42nd annual Folk Festival.
And speaking
For
of
sure.
that, the hotels, like the bed and breakfast, I know we've stayed at the Sweet Cane Inn. We've got the hotels, the brand hotels like Holiday Inn, Best Western, and all of that is. And at the same time, the bed and breakfast, we just watched. You're going to love this. I almost texted you, but it was way too late at night. Nancy and I finally rewatched, after how many years? 30 years, Steel Magnolias. And I'm like, we're going, there's the bed and breakfast. There's the church. There's the,
I know so many
and
familiar
there's
things.
downtown. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
Natchitoches. I just wanted to stop every scene and go, I know where that's at. That's, you know what I mean? It was like a whole other thing. So that's something when you go for July 23rd in Natchitoches, the folk festival, stay some extra days and really go on the movie trail. You've got the El Camino Real.
They got the national parks. Yeah. So the
You've
national
got all of these
forest,
other things. So kind of like, I would say, go on a cultural art journey and kind of plan a trip around that, and then go in the Cane River Queen, go down the
right.
Cane River Lake, and then
Go on
apparently you've got a
cruise.
new brewery now, Cane River.
Yeah,
You've got a new brewery coming in.
Flying Heart Brewery is coming to town, so they'll have live entertainment there weekly. So yep, all
There's
kind of
stuff
good
going
fun
on.
stuff. Yeah.
And at the festival, Shane, I remember having meat pies and even Indian taco, fry bread. We had fry
Yes.
bread.
Yes.
You had good food.
Yeah, we've invited all the food vendors, and I think some of them, have learned that they need to bring more food because we have a hungry audience. And they're going to be on both concourses of the festival. The festival is really inexpensive. It's $10 for all day. And, that's about the price of a movie these days.
Yeah, really.
So
yeah, for 3 stages of music going on simultaneously. Yeah.
Exactly. Of 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. So it really is a tremendous bargain. And look at that. If you look at that screen up there with Lisa, you can see that logo of those animals with our theme Stronger Together. It has made an awesome t-shirt.
Oh, I want one.
Yeah, it's gonna sell very well because it's just so I think it's a message that people need right now. They're stronger together.
I like that you have animals too, like the armadillo.
Yeah.
And everybody knows about the armadillo cake. And there's your fish, Arlene, so you can get your fish scales.
That's right. That's right.
But it is about, you guys are connected to the land and nature. And I think that's another part of the folk festival is you see I mean, I watched a lady teach us how to make a broom, but you see how in the history of it, and then there's, like the basket weaving, and, these are the needles we use from this pine tree. So a lot of these cultures are rooted in the natural surroundings
Yeah,
that they lived
sure.
in.
Well, if you come to the festival, we've invited the Red River Smiths and they are just top-notch blacksmiths, and they'll be outside on the grass and then under the trees for a little shade. And we've also invited the Dutch oven cookers of Central Louisiana. And they, when they came last time, they had some wonderful samples that were free, that were just, oh my heck, you got to try their food. And then also we have the folks from that do wash day, and they basically do the old time wash day, and they have all these different exhibits about what you can do. And we have some really cool, one of the cool narrative sessions this time is on Acadian brown cotton, and which is just, people are really interested in that now. And we have a 6-table exhibit that we're going to have at the festival, all about Acadian brown cotton. So really, this is a festival that you get history, you get music, you get dance, you get food, you get crafts, and it's all there, and it's air conditioned, and it's fun. Family
And it's in the
friendly.
best city on the planet. It's in Natchitoches, so
I always did say that the folk festival is one of my favorite festivals. It really is.
it is one of our favorites, hands down, across the country, around the world. One of my favorite events I have ever been to in my life. And I've
it's
been
on
around.
it's on the beautiful grounds of Northwestern State University. That's been there
Exactly.
since 1884.
Wow.
Yep. So it really is. It's a pretty campus.
Go
I'm seeing-
Demons.
Ooh,
Work 'em. Yeah.
Work
that's
'em Demons.
ooh, so we get to say that now.
That's right. That's right. And it's folks like Arlene that keep us going.
Yeah.
She helps so much. The Natchitoches Area and Convention and Visitors Bureau help us. The Louisiana Office of Tourism, they're right there with us, helping us out. The National Center for the Arts, the Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and we mentioned the Cane River National Heritage Area. And,
Oh, yeah.
The Natchitoches Historic District Development Commission, Louisiana Division of the Arts, the Jazz Fest Foundation. These folks, they care about the culture.
Mhm.
And
I
they're the ones
agree.
that really help out so well, because
hence the
for the city of
theme,
Natchitoches.
stronger together.
Well, I want to tell people, when you go to Natchitoches, go a few days if you can before the festival. I really, really recommend it. And go to the Visitor Bureau first. It's right on Front Street. You can't miss it. We saw your office on Steel Magnolia. That's Arlene and Kelly are over there. But go there, get maps, get everything. Go to the Cane River Creole National Historical Park, Grand Accor Visitor Center too. There's all these things to do, but go on the walking tour, whether it's self-guided or if you go with the Cane River National Heritage Area, go on a walking tour. It's the first thing you should do when you go to Natchitoches, other than have a meat pie, that you can do immediately. But you will understand the history behind everything, behind the Louisiana Purchase itself, the history behind Natchitoches and the state of Louisiana and no man's land. So when you go to the folk festival, it heightens it to where you really get the culture, and you just like, wow, you have an even deeper appreciation. So I just recommend that to anybody going to Natchitoches. I always say, go on that walking tour first. Don't you think, Arlene? It's one of the best.
When you said that, I was trying to imagine Natchitoches being here almost 100 years before the Louisiana Purchase even took place in 1803, since we were founded in 1714. And we were here before Louisiana became a state in 1812.
Before America was America. Right?
That's true. That's right. Because that didn't happen until 1776 or something like that. But yeah.
Oh, and Civil War history, all of that. Now, real quick, I have a quick question. I shouldn't even ask this right now, but we did our Jefferson Highway show, and we had the Red River historian and Roger Bell, the head of the association, on. We're talking about the history, and all of a sudden, I get my history muddled. It's easy after traveling and getting all, I remember something about, I think it was the North and the South, or was it the British and Louisianans playing cricket or something along the Red River, or something. They played baseball or something happened. I think it's more in Alexandria area, but something happened, and everybody's looking at me like I'm just don't know what I'm talking about, and I can't remember,
Shane,
but I
you
know
might know
there's
something
something.
about that, but I thought it was the Indians at one time had a game
Well,
going.
they, you know, in the region, they played stickball, which was
Okay.
Native American tradition, and they still do play stickball. Actually, in fact, we've even had it at the festival where we had people come in with they did a demonstration, and people were able to play it here, and that might be what you're thinking about. And, you know, Natchitoches, you're right, it's immersive. You know, I come, and sometimes you know, as someone who's here every day, you know, I've always wanted to take one of those carriage rides, you know, that you have downtown, you know, where they go and they tell you all about the history as you're walking with the horse, you know, and you know, it's just neat. Or, you know, a place I recommend, Fort St. John Baptiste is just one of the places to get a lot of that real sense of Natchitoches. And you see the people in their historic garb, and you see the fort. It's just really cool. Lazione's is fantastic. You know, but frankly, there are so many restaurants here that are so good that
I
it's
know.
kind of hard to choose. But that's part of the fun.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely.
And it is kind of fun when you go to the fort. Those guys are actually doing tasks that they would have been doing as a soldier in the early 1700s.
Yep.
It's neat going around there and imagining what it was like to set up a fort and be on the riverfront. You know, think about that. You know, it's just, there's gators and stuff, man. It's like, here, let's set up a fort. Oh, hello, little alligator, and hello to the armadillo. I'll take the armadillo, please, for 10. You know, it's you know, but you see like just what the soldiers went through, how they had to bunk up together, and it's not like it was, you know, air conditioned. I'm just saying. Bunking up together in Louisiana can be a little warm. So the fort is amazing. You guys have so much, and we just need to come back again.
Always.
Well,
You're welcome.
I'm so glad Nancy and I are both super happy that the festival is back. So everyone, you can go to nsula.edu /folklife. You'll also find it on Facebook, but go to natchitoches.com. That has all the event information. It also has all the lodging and dining and, you know, what's going on in Natchitoches. That is your go-to. And of course, keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. We cover Natchitoches every third Tuesday because, hey, it's the oldest settlement in this state of Louisiana, but the entire Louisiana Purchase. So it deems its own show. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Shane. Take care, everybody.